I'm a mum, single mum.
Good on you.
I feel like I've done a lot of damage to him, and I want to know how I can fix that.
How old is he?
Nearly 14.
Okay. And when you say you feel like you've done a lot of damage, what behaviours would he be demonstrating that would make you think that?
He's a lot better now, but he's still got that rebellious
Okay.
anger towards the world. He's still got a lot of abandonment stuff around his dad, and about the fact that I work so much to try and give him a life that, one, I didn't have, but two, where he can go and appreciate life and know if he works hard that he can achieve anything that he puts his mind to.
Yeah. Okay. Who can relate to this where you go, I sometimes feel like I've done a lot of damage to my kid and I don't know what to do about it? Okay, just so you don't feel so bad, okay? Almost any parent can probably relate to it on some level. But what you need to understand is what a child needs isn't often what we give them. Because oftentimes we think a child needs a great role model to learn how to work hard, but what a child actually needs fundamentally is safety. It gets its reference for if the world is a safe place based on how it's been nurtured. Now, the beautiful thing is a child's brain isn't fully developed. And do you know what age a child's brain actually fully develops? 28. So you might think you've done a lot of damage, but here's what I'm going to suggest. You've done, in most cases, the very best that you can do with the tools that you've had. And there's no point beating yourself up over it because you're not going to do yourself any help, and you're certainly not setting a great example of how we should self-audit and what that means to be, to be self-critical. What I'd suggest to you right now is he may not necessarily need a mother that can give him the things that you didn't have. Because maybe the things that he actually needs is to know that he is loved and he is cared for and that he is actually a priority in your life. And the only thing that can demonstrate that are your behaviours. And no matter how much you try and tell a child that you're working for him, they don't understand that. They don't measure love in the amount of money that you make. They don't measure love in the things that you buy. Do you know how kids measure love? How attuned are you to them in the time that they get with you? See, children's values up until the age of 14 are very time-based. His values are still time-based, but they're now also rooted in activities. And the only way you can communicate to him is through his values. And so you need to be able to identify what are the values that are important to him. Does he love video games? Great, start playing video games with him.
Okay.
Well, why would he hang out and do something with you that's important to you if you won't hang out and do something with him that's important to him?
And he always asks me to do it because I used to.
There you go. He's begging you. Demonstrate to him what safety looks like. Because if he doesn't know what safety looks like, he won't know how to regulate.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't know how to regulate because he doesn't know what safety feels like, he will look to behaviours, such as what you're seeing now, as video games, as a way to regulate. And the moment video games become boring, then it'll be girls. And when girls become boring, then it will be drugs, alcohol, And what you don't want is you don't want a 15, 16, 17, 18, 9-year-old addict that you're now dealing with because now you got bigger problems. Now, they are not insurmountable either, but my advice is, based on what I know, is if children don't feel safe, they don't learn how to regulate. If they don't know how to regulate, they look to behaviours as a shortcut to find safety. But you now have the awareness. Ignorance is bliss until we wake up. Once we wake up, then we now have what's called compound responsibility. We now have to take a level of responsibility that perhaps we could, pass off before. Well, I didn't know. But you've also got to realize you've got 13 years to support his neural development to a level that will support him for the rest of his life to be a happy, healthy, independent adult. If you haven't f***ed it up yet, you may not have had necessarily the best start, but my advice is I wouldn't wait a minute longer before you start showing him and demonstrating to him what safety looks like. Yep. It's up to you what you do from here.
Thank you.
But I wish you the absolute best. You absolutely have this. 1, 2, 3,
The way your kids spell love is T-I-M-E. Time.